By the way, I never asked you, how'd you come up with it? And good evening. Hi, it's Storm Tracker 16, Chief Meteorologist Kurt Aaron. Just want to bring you an update between the 7 o'clock and the 10 o'clock newscast to let you know what's going on with these two storms. There's actually two storms that we've been talking about it. So I want to go ahead and punch up the weather computer here and let's show you what's going on. So phase one, there it is. That's the storm system you see moving over the Great Lakes region. That is bringing us the rain. It's also going to bring us moisture for snow. We're going to see a changeover, but it's not because of that particular system. There's going to be a coastal low. I'll show you more on that in just a minute. There's the rain. Now moving into our viewing area. Finally, this is a beneficial rain. Much needed. Renova, Lock Haven, Get Ready, State College, those areas. We're going to see this rain gradually working its way to the east and some downpours. You can see by the color codes there, when you start getting into the yellow, the orange, the red, that's when you're dealing with some downpours. Now, National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch. And if you look at the areas that the winter storm watch, you see that outline that we talked about before, the infamous fish hook. This is where we have elevation. And that's also where the National Weather Service has issued that winter storm watch. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to see anything here where there's no winter storm watch, because you will. You're going to have downpours of rain at first, then it's going to be followed by some snow. So you're not out of the woods, even though you don't have that winter storm watch. We have a winter weather impact alert for Friday morning. Even though phase one starts tonight, phase two, that's the one that's going to impact our morning commute on Friday and may bring some slick roads. All right, so here's the primary low, the one we were just talking about, bringing that beneficial rain. Now, you see what happens here? We have a coastal low forming right off the coast. Now, the models indicate that this system is actually going to move in this direction to the west, right? So let me line it back up with the isobars. So there it is. And we're going to watch this because once it moves to the west, guess what happens? It drags down that colder air, so we see that changeover. And if you notice the timestamp, which is another important thing, and we've been talking about that right up here, notice the time. This is late Thursday night into early Friday morning. That's when we see that changeover to snow because it's going to be dragging down that colder air and bringing it right over our region. So most of this will fall in the form of rain, but once this coastal low moves a little bit to the west, we're going to be looking at a changeover to some snow showers. And then eventually the energy reverts back over the western Atlantic and then the storm system pulls away. All right, so let's recap now. Here's what we're looking at early Thursday morning. Mostly rain. Some of the elevations that you see there could in fact have some snowflakes mixing in. This area in particular right here, this is higher elevations there in Sullivan County. We always joke about the ice box in those areas. Well, you're seeing elevations also back towards Tioga County. This is elevated snow because anything above 1,500 feet may mix in with some flakes. The rest of us, though, all rain. And then you can see as we get into late afternoon and evening, notice how the blue begins to expand very quickly. Now, remember that coastal low we just talked about? Well, there you go. We're seeing what it's going to do, changing that rain over to snow as it drags down that colder air. And that's what we're going to be looking at here. And as I click through this, you'll see all of the precipitation turning counterclockwise right there. You see it? That's because the low, according to this model, would literally be right over upstate New York and northeastern Pennsylvania, which is why we have the higher amounts for the snowfall totals over the Northeast. Could be looking at a sizable rainfall, again, putting a huge dent in our drought right now. Could be talking 2, maybe 3 inches of rain by the time it's all said and done. And then if you look in central Pennsylvania, an inch or so. But again, any change in the track, these numbers will change as well. There's one look, one model. We showed this graph model yesterday, and it was showing 20 inches of snow parts of the Poconos. Now it's come back to reality, and it's showing about 3 to 5. You can see Honesdale there, a little bit more in Albrightsville. And then we go out west, and it looks like the numbers really drop off. Future snow, this is the North American model. That northeast corner may be the hardest hit. And again, that's based on the track that we have right now. So this is how we came up with our snowfall totals, in case you're wondering. Just a combination of the models and what it is we're looking at. So 2 to 5 higher elevations, the Poconos stretching up into our northern tier. That northeast corner may see a little bit more than that, and then it begins to drop off as we get into the Wyoming Valley. And only maybe a trace to an inch or two parts of central Pennsylvania. Looks very light out there. So now you know it. There's two phases to it. Tonight, phase one, that's the rain, could be heavy at times. Thursday, we're going to see primarily rain during the day. Some of the hilltops, higher elevations, as you were seeing there, could in fact have some snowflakes mixing in. And then Thursday night into Friday, we turn to all snow, thanks to that coastal low. So we're going to continue to monitor all of this. Again, phase one just getting started, and that's what's going to be moving in tonight. That's what's going to impact us for our morning commute tomorrow. So you'll definitely want to have the umbrella with you. And as you can see in the 7-day there, we have that weather impact alert for Friday morning. And as we just discussed, it's because of that changeover to snow that we were talking about, and that may impact your Friday morning commute. So we want to be careful, give yourself plenty of time. A lot to talk about. Just wanted to bring you the updates. There you have it. General 1 to 5. Few spots could see a little bit more, a little bit less in the valleys. And we'll continue to update you at 10.